In the summer of 1874, the town of Red Hollow was nothing more than dust, whiskey, and trouble. The wind carried sand through its single main street, brushing against swinging saloon doors and weather-beaten wooden buildings. It was the kind of place where arguments were settled with bullets and reputations were written in blood. And in the middle of that town stood a man people had started whispering about in low voices. His name was Elijah Cross. By the time Elijah turned 30, 7 men had tried to kill him. 7 men had failed, but Elijah wasn't born a killer. He arrived in Red Hollow as a quiet drifter with a worn leather hat and a past he never spoke about. Some said he fought in the war. Others claimed he had once been a ranch hand who lost everything. The truth didn't matter. What mattered was the way he walked. Slow, steady, like a man who never hurried because he never feared what stood ahead of him. The first gunfight happened on a hot afternoon outside Miller's saloon. A gambler named Tom Barrow accused Elijah of cheating at cards. The crowd gathered quickly. Accusations in Red Hollow were invitations to violence. Tom reached for his revolver first. Witnesses later swore Elijah didn't even blink. One sharp movement, one thunderous shot. Tom hit the dirt before his gun cleared leather. It was over in less than 2 seconds. That was the day the town realized the quiet drifter could shoot. Elijah didn't celebrate. He didn't boast. He simply picked up his hat, stepped over the body, and walked away. But in the West, stories travel faster than trains. Within weeks, his name drifted across counties. Some called him lucky, others called him dangerous, a few called him a legend. The second gunfight came at dusk. 2 brothers from Oklahoma rode into town looking for revenge over a cattle dispute Elijah had nothing to do with. They didn't care about truth, they cared about pride. The street emptied as doors shut tight. 3 men stood under a dying orange sky. This time, Elijah spoke first. He told them to walk away. They laughed. The first brother fired too early and missed. Elijah turned, shot once, then twice. When the dust settled, only 1 man remained standing. And again, it was him. By the 3rd and 4th gunfight, something inside Elijah began to change. Survival no longer felt like victory. Each time he cleaned his revolver at night, his hands lingered longer on the steel. He started sitting alone in the saloon, back to the wall, eyes watching every movement. The town no longer saw a drifter. They saw a storm waiting to happen. The 5th gunfight made him infamous. A bounty hunter named Silas Kane arrived with a rifle and a contract claiming Elijah was worth $500 dead. Silas was fast, faster than anyone Elijah had faced. The entire town gathered to watch what they believed would be the end of the legend. When the clock above the bank struck noon, both men moved. A single echo split the street. Silas fell, a look of disbelief frozen on his face. Elijah had been quicker. That was the day children began playing games called Cross and Cane in the streets. But legends come with a price. By the 6th fight, Elijah had stopped counting the nights he couldn't sleep. He saw the faces of the men he'd killed whenever he closed his eyes. Whiskey stopped helping. The saloon music sounded distant, hollow. He started thinking about leaving Red Hollow for good. The 7th gunfight nearly ended him. It was raining that night, rare for Texas. A masked stranger stepped from the alley behind the general store and fired without warning. The bullet tore through Elijah's shoulder and spun him into the mud. Pain exploded through his body. The town believed it was finally over, but survival had become instinct. Through blood and rain, Elijah raised his revolver with his good arm and fired blindly toward the flash of another shot. The masked man collapsed. Elijah didn't stand up for several minutes. He survived, barely. After that night, something in him broke. The legend no longer felt powerful, it felt heavy. 7 gunfights, 7 graves, and the town still looked at him not with gratitude, but with fear. So Elijah made a decision. He would leave. No farewell, no announcement. Just ride west at sunrise and disappear into the endless horizon. But legends don't retire quietly. On the morning he prepared to leave, a young man stood waiting in the center of the street. Barely 20. Nervous but determined. The entire town watched from behind curtains and door frames. The young man shouted, "They say you're the fastest! I'm here to prove them wrong!" Elijah closed his eyes for a moment. He saw himself years ago, angry, proud, chasing a reputation that meant nothing. He could walk away, he could mount his horse and ignore the challenge, but in Red Hollow, walking away branded you a coward. The wind slowed. The world felt silent. The young man reached first. The shot echoed across the town like a final warning from the past. When the dust settled, the young challenger lay motionless in the street. Elijah remained standing. 8 gunfights, 8 victories, and in that moment Elijah Cross understood something no one else in Red Hollow ever would. Surviving wasn't winning. Every duel carved something out of him. Every trigger pulled took more than it gave. He wasn't feared because he was evil. He was feared because he reminded people what violence truly looked like. He didn't look at the crowd, he didn't say a word. He holstered his revolver, mounted his horse, and rode west without turning back. Some say he died years later on a quiet ranch, under a different name. Others say he kept fighting in distant towns where no one knew his face. But in Red Hollow, whenever the wind howls down that empty street, old-timers still tell the story of the man who survived 7 gunfights, and regretfully lived through the 8th. If you enjoyed this video, we'll be bringing you more content soon. Please like and subscribe so you can stay updated with our latest videos. Don't forget to leave a comment and let us know what you thought about this video. See you in the next one.